his room at night, I listen for his voice everywhere. Often I think I have seen him at the market, or that I have caught a glimpse of him walking down a street. At times, late at night, I come into his room and I sit on his bed and I listen to the moaning of the stars or to the gentle caress of the rain on the roof or to the wild wailing wind. I sit and listen and I think and I think and I pray. I pray with hope and with hopelessness. I think of the times I tuck him into his bed or sat by him for hours when he was sick. I think of the laughter that came from his belly when he would run and play with other children. I think of the tears that fell from his sad, sad face the day my father died. They were very much alike, those two, kind, gentle, compassionate. In fact, Nathaniel's grandfather always said that if Israel were still governed by judges, Nathaniel would have surpassed Samuel in greatness. Those two, they walked and talked, they fished, they argued, until both were as red as a Roman cape. I think of the way he talked to me, the way he listened. His own father never listened, never seemed to care. But Nathaniel would sit with me for hours and listen. I would talk, he would listen. It's funny, but I hardly recall what I talked about. Everything, I guess, or maybe nothing. But it just felt so good to talk and to be heard. Whenever I had finished rambling on about his brothers and sisters, or the synagogue, or the Romans, or Moses, or what I was even making for dinner that night, or my plans for his brilliant future, well, he would always stand up and touch my cheek. And then he would laugh, a kind little laugh. A laugh with no malice. And he would always say, "Mama, you are precious." God takes such pride in you. Imagine that. From his son, no less. Such pride in me. It makes me feel like bursting with tears and smile and laughter and God knows what else. That gentle laugh, a face so sweet, a touch so tender. I know, I can imagine you are thinking, I'm just another sentimental old lady, just another proud Jewish mother, an adoring mama. No, I have 7 other children, and I have been around so many more. I cannot count them all. But Nathaniel, he was different, so different. He was just so, how can I say this? Sentimentalism would cheapen this. So please don't just call me sentimental. I mean, sentimental is our human brand for everything that makes us cry, everything that makes us feel deep hurt. He was just so fine, so excellent, so, I miss him so. I just ache so much inside. I try to keep from drifting off. It is like my whole soul just sails out the window off to the hills to find him and have a conversation with him. Some days I'm just so bitter that my blood feels as cold as water from the deepest well. And I want to scream and throw things. And at times I do. My husband tells me I'm silly. He tells me to accept that he is gone, to get over it, to accept the fact that Nathaniel has disowned us, and that he will never, ever be welcome in this house again. I can't let go. I can't say goodbye. He is still alive. He is still out there. And someone is still receiving that gentle touch and that little laugh. He is out there listening. If he came back, I would run to meet him. I would squeeze him with all my might. He didn't disown me. I am precious. God takes pride in me. He calls me Mama. He would never disown me. I know he says we are no longer his parents, but it is this Jesus who has him so confused, who has gotten him so totally mixed up. I am precious. Mama, God's pride. He would never disown me. I despise this man, Jesus. I loathe all of his rubbish about love. What does he know about love? What does he know about the love of a parent? He takes our children away from us. He leads them out into the world, preaching some nonsense about how the first would be the last, about releasing captives, about the kingdom coming now. Good boys, like my Nathaniel, are taken in by this holy song and dance, this miracle message. Miracle? Why, it has been heard from every prophet from the beginning of time. Jesus talks love. He preaches love. But he sows hate and discord. He breaks up whole families, and he leaves us. He leaves me with an empty room and an empty bed. Nobody to listen to me, no touch, no laugh, no feeling precious. I despise the ground that he walks on. How could a Messiah bring so much pain, so much agony? How could a Messiah bring such upset to our family? The family which is the foundation of faith and of life itself? How could a Messiah take away my Nathaniel and have him show more love to lepers and prostitutes and beggars? More love than he shows to me, his mother. The same mother Torah teaches to honor and obey. Honor. Obey. Jesus wants all of that for himself. Jesus, if you can hear me, let me go. Let my Nathaniel go. You know where you are headed. You know exactly what you are doing. Riding into town on the back of an ass, proclaiming to be the Messiah in the midst of the holy days, the sacred season of our faith. You are taking these young men on a long, cruel trail, a trail to nowhere. a trail to the cross, I am certain. Haven't you caused us all enough grief already? Haven't you inflicted enough pain on all 12 families? 12? Yes, all 12 must feel as I do, that you needed comfort and support for your crazy cause, that you did not have the courage to do it alone. And so you recruited our sons with your charisma and your seductive message of saving the world, building the kingdom. What? What will you build from a cross? What kind of Messiah would be crucified? You are a charlatan, Jesus, a fake. Let my Nathaniel go. I have heard that you said of my son, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. True, Jesus, but what about you? What about the cunning, the deceit, the fraud of who you are? Miracles, healings, prophecies of a new kingdom, a new way of life for all, forgiveness for all. I have heard your message. I have heard it 1,000,000 times in my lifetime, my one single solitary lifetime. Jesus, you will be nailed up, and you will leave those men, young men, in total despair, wondering where the kingdom has gone, wondering why the poor are still so poor, and why the blind still cannot see, or the lame walk, or why we will continue to fight war after crazy war. You are headed for destruction, and you know it. And yet, you will not tell the truth to these young men. Guile. You are correct. My Nathaniel does not have any. But you, Jesus, have enough for all 12. Won't you please let them all go now, before you upset any more people, before they stone you or crucify you, or, Jesus, if they should kill my son for the likes of you, if they should kill my Nathaniel, I will pray that you rot in the pits of hell. I will pray without ceasing, and I will be heard. Oh, stop. In the name of God, stop. It is so futile, so worthless. Nothing will change. You will see. Please, let it go. Please.